From the late night cruises, to the Friday night testing tunes, to the Sunday NASCAR races, cars are American. We pour our passions, our resources, our talents, our abilities into our cars. Here's the deal. This is going to be kind of a talking video, and a lot of things need to be said. And I'm just going to go ahead and come right out and say I'm the very last one that would ever insert politics into cars, into sports in general. Anything that we do as an escape from the monotony of daily life, work, bills, stuff like that. But the problem is politics is coming to us. And unless you've been living under a rock, it has to do with the EPA and the Clean Air Act and, a lot of things that are going on with all of that right now. And it's kind of come to one of those points where you can't ignore it, and you have to say, okay, at some point we've got to stand up and we've got to do something to protect our hobby and protect our livelihoods, and that's what this video is about. So a little bit of backstory. I've pretty much been into cars for as long as I can remember, and even as a young kid, building model cars, playing with Matchbox, Micro Machines, those little Hot Wheels towns that you could drive, put the cars through the car wash, and they had a little garage and stuff like that. And not just playing with them, but I would change them up, try to change the wheels. Most of the time I'd break them. And then building models, I didn't build them how the picture looked on the box. I wanted to do it different. I would change this and change that and do a crazy paint scheme, or try to make it look like a drag car, borrow wheels from another model kit. So it wasn't just about putting the model together. I wanted to make it my own. And that's what the car hobby is all about. That's the mindset of a car guy, is we don't just like a Mustang, or we don't just like a Camaro or a Corvette. We like it, but we also want to make it our own. That's what the hobby is all about. I'm gonna get a little bit real and let's just play devil's advocate for a minute and say, what does the world look like where you can't modify a car anymore, or you can't buy the parts to modify the car? Because it's not just they're going to try and tell you that you can't modify your car. They're going after the source. They're going after companies that make the parts that we use to modify our cars. And that, for a business, especially the smaller businesses that can't afford to pay huge litigation bills to protect what they've spent a long time building. Most of these companies spent years building their brands and developing parts and testing parts and getting them out in the market. A lot of these smaller companies simply don't have the resources, and it's simply not worth it to them to take that risk of possibly getting in some seriously hot water from the federal government. So maybe there's going to be some big companies that will survive this. I don't know, but I think before we ever get to that point, we need to sign the RPM Act. We need to get some muscle behind it, and the politicians that we elect to go work for us are not going to take notice of this. They're not even going to take it seriously unless we all get behind it. They want to see numbers. They want to see this stuff getting shared. They want to see, they want their phones ringing. Well, they don't want their phones ringing off the hook. If they are ringing off the hook, they'll take notice. So seriously, guys, this is a time for action. Playtime's over. Right now, we've got to defend our hobby. We've got to stand up for, whether you make a living in it or not. If you're watching this video, you're ingrained into the automotive aftermarket, the car automotive performance hobby in some form or another. You know what, guys, and let me be the first to say, I don't have anything against electric cars. That's great. Whatever. Teslas, Mach-E, all that, that seems to be where the industry's going. And that's fine, as the technology progresses and evolves. I may own an electric vehicle at some point. I don't know. But what I don't like is when, essentially, through the, the heavy hand of the federal government, they're trying to force us to do, these things. And they're trying to, take the back door in to destroy our hobby by, intimidating these businesses and these companies that, provide the automotive aftermarket with, parts and, tuning services, on and on and on. That's where I have an issue. And also, you got to bear in mind that this is not just about putting catalytic converters on your car. I've seen a lot of comments like that. Oh, just put catalytic converters on your car. It's not that way. It's not that simple. Like I've alluded to, basically companies, smaller brands, and there's a million of them, guys. There's a ton of them, from, exhaust companies, tuning companies, so on and so forth. They're a target, and they already have been targeted. And what's going to happen is all of those companies are going to go away, and so it won't be a matter of putting catalytic converters on your car, because you won't be able to buy headers, you won't be able to buy mid pipes, possibly superchargers, aftermarket aluminum heads, intakes, camshafts, all of this stuff that could affect the emission system of your vehicle. They're just simply going to go away. And even if you do have the parts, even if you can get the parts, whether used or somewhere else, no one's going to touch it as far as a tuning aspect, because they don't want to be sued. And that's kind of where we're at. And there's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of double speak. There's a lot of misinformation out there. And quite frankly, there's no way to say it's black or white, it's this or that, at this point, because we just don't know. But what I'm telling you right now is, there's a link in the description. Sign the petition, and we've got to get some muscle behind, behind this RPM Act, and got to let them know we're not going to take it. We're not going to stand for this. This hobby is as American as freaking baseball or anything else. And we're just not gonna go quietly. Your friends, the people you speak to online that are in this hobby, a lot of them make their money in this industry. Have built businesses over years in this industry, and it's just gonna go away. And I've got a big problem with that, and you should too. And take 5 minutes. I don't even think it takes 5 minutes. It doesn't even take 5 minutes, to sit there and fill out this petition. They've got a form letter you can send to your congressman. There's so many different ways that, you can take a stand for something that, that we all believe in, that many of us have our livelihood in. And, it's just ridiculous that, it's come to this, but, as Americans, we got to stand up and, say, hey, look, we're not going out. We're not going down easy. All right, guys. So I hate doing talking videos, but again, this is something that's super important. This is something that is happening right now as we speak. There are companies that have had, agents show up at their door. They've had, letters written to them. This is real. And again, these are people that have employees. They have families. These aren't just some obscure people that are doing, stuff they shouldn't be doing. These are people that are playing by the rules, that have built successful businesses, and all of that is, pretty much at stake right now. It's, people that I know personally, And so this is very much real, and this is going to affect all of us as enthusiasts. And if we don't do anything about it now, we're going to find ourselves, driving Priuses. Imagine that. Imagine a world where we all drive freaking Priuses, and maybe that'll get you motivated. Whatever it takes to get you motivated, I don't give a damn. Just go sign the petition, and write your congressman. Put a little skin in the game and protect our hobby, save our hobby, racing, automotive customizing, all of that stuff. Because when the dominoes start to fall, these companies start to fall, there's going to be more falling. What's going to happen after that? Events are going to shut down. Whether it's car shows, drag racing, tracks are going to close down. So this is going to be a domino effect. And I'm telling you right now, take the time. Take just a few minutes. Sign the petition. Let's keep our hobby going. Catch you on the next one, guys.